Alright, so Superwog has just released his first Netflix series called The Son of a Donkey. And as per tradition to that video I made 3 years ago now, I'll be trying to figure out where Superwog filmed this episode. Now, this entire series was filmed in Melbourne, which is unlike some of the skits he's done on YouTube, including Tradesman, McDonald's, the miniseries, where instead this was filmed in Sydney. But that aside, this first pan-in shot of this road and his car was filmed on this exact road here. Yes, I do have a whole Google Doc. But over here on this road is our first little scene with the red light camera. I can prove it to you over here. This is the exact pin for it, because in this little pan-in shot, you can see the 60 speed limit sign right there, the little park, and the actual traffic light where he got apparently caught in. Now, I do have to admit later on that the part where he did get caught over here, this intersection here does not have a red light camera, so this obviously had to be filmed externally. Now, I wasn't bothered to figure out where this exact red light camera was, but yes, it had to be external because this exact traffic light does not have a camera. Now over here we get a little shot of Van's Butcher, which is completely unrelated to the whole plot, but I did find this location to be all the way back in Sunshine where the Superwog house is. Super random location. It's just I don't know why they decided to film it here, but yep, there it is. That's Van's Butcher. That aside though, moving on, we get to go to Superwog's actual house, which is where most of this episode was actually filmed. Now Superwog's house is very well known. It's been documented and it's everywhere on Google Maps, so obviously it's not a hard thing to find out. And it's no surprise that it's right here on Google Maps. Now, Street View actually did block it out, so I can't really show you guys, but you can see via the 3D map that Google Maps have generously provided us that oh my god, that this is the Superwog house over here. This little pattern shot right here. There you go. Alright, that aside though, at 4:17 he does receive a letter about his vehicle impound notice over here, which it says 105 Dickhead Road, which is obviously not a real address, but it says Bass Hill, New South Wales, which is a real suburb in Sydney. So I don't know why. Yeah. And also this says New South Wales, so it's filmed in Victoria. That aside though, the rest of this episode for the majority was filmed at the house, so no real locations there. Some of the locations I couldn't figure out, however, is firstly Johnny's house. This is way too generic for me to even search in Melbourne or let alone the surrounding suburbs here. So couldn't figure out where this was filmed. That aside though, their little bit where they went to Hungry Jack's over here, couldn't figure out where this was. Honestly, I first thought this was a set because of how artificial it looked. But then when checking in a bit deeper, I don't think this is a set. I think this is just an abandoned warehouse slash shop front that they turned into the Hungry Jacks or whatever. But obviously this is a set for the Netflix series because you got the fake logo, you got the fake sides, you got the fake playground. So yeah, and you can tell it's very artificial because none of these windows exist. They're all mirrors for some reason. So obviously the inside is not real and this was entirely a set. That aside though, over here is where we find our next location. Over here, which is supposedly the Hungry Jack's headquarters. Now, this is in Melbourne CBD, and this is 333 Collins Street. I don't know, it's quite a heritage and quite a well-known building in Melbourne, but it's actually a really beautiful building, as you can see here. But that's the main entrance, and they were walking in from there. You can see exactly the same as in the series. And even the inside to this building was filmed at 333 Collins Street, as you can see here. Exactly the same. Lastly, we got our last location, which is the garbage dump. Now, this was honestly the hardest location to actually figure out because of how little we had to go off of. But over here, this last bit was filmed back in Sunshine all the way here in the rural parts of Melbourne. I'll just get the Google map pins. There we go. Now, this one took me quite a while because there's very little to go off by just this shot. But I can prove it to you that it is in this little vacant area, in this random industrials area. Now you can see here that this little funny shaped building is the power station and it matches over here. I can also tell that this is a power station through the power lines, which are also matching here. But the method I found this location was a little bit surprising over here. So you get this very quick and very blurry image of this warehouse here, which has a logo of a bus depot company, because these are buses, obviously. So I did a bit of research to find out that this is the bus depot for CDC buses in Melbourne. And that's the logo for it. It's just an orange and blue box. But that aside, I just searched up CDC bus depots and you get one right here. And via the back way, you can see here that it literally matches. There you go. That's the sign that matches the video. And that's it. That's all the locations I have for you. A lot of it is filmed in Sunshine, where the Superwog house was. I did not mean to do that. Oh my lord. But some of it was filmed in downtown Melbourne, and some of it was filmed in very peculiar locations like the Hungry Jacks. Other locations I couldn't figure out where because they were way too hard was Superwog's mother's mom's house. I don't know what you call it, but in this scene over here, they travel to a much leafier suburb. I was assuming Toorak, but I couldn't find anything in Toorak that matched this description, including the house number 8 here. I'm sure you could figure this out eventually because it is quite a luxurious suburb, as you can see here. They got a whole gate and stuff, but couldn't figure out possibly where this could be. I don't know what suburb this is because I don't live in Melbourne, so I don't know. And one more location we could not figure out. Oh yeah, it was the Hungry Jacks and Johnny's house. But that's it. That's all the locations for this episode. Yeah. Am I a nerd for this? I don't know.